It's recording.
All right, it's recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Cornwall, and I am here with Phil Wilson from Momentum 98. He is an amazing guy. I'm really excited to have him on today because we're going to be talking about the benefits of infrared sauna, specifically far infrared sauna in the Relax Sauna, which is right behind him. And I'm really excited to have him on because he is a wealth of knowledge and a beautiful human being. And he has a background in philosophy and mathematics and has worked his way into the health and wellness field. And he has a pretty significant story of how he really found healing and was brought to this place and is now helping other people. And this sauna in particular, he's been with for 19 years. And I'm just really excited to hear what you have to say today. And if you just want to give a little bit of background about yourself, where you came from, and a little bit of background of what got you to where you are now.
Well, I've always enjoyed creativity. That is always my operandi to be ecstatic. As a kid, I would solve math problems and have all these insights, and there was nothing more exciting to me as a kid to solve a math problem that was very difficult and no one else could solve, but I could solve it. I was published in high school journals as the person who found the solution to math problems that were very, very difficult for advanced math students in all the high schools in the United States. And I was published about 3 or 4 times in high school. Being involved in creativity, I always have been looking for that edge. I've always uh, to get the momentum moving where I can get the insight. And, I was telling you earlier before we get on, and I'll share it. I had an experience where I was given the name of my company, Momentum 98. I was meditating, and all of a sudden, um, at any rate, I was trying to find the name of my company, and they basically told me it was um, I was looking at this paradisiacal lake, and there was a great big volcano-like structure that I learned afterwards called a serpent mound, and out popped a little lottery ball with the word momentum on it,
Mm,
and I heard the voice. And then later on, they said, taking advantage of the moment and propelling yourself into greatness. And that's a key in living life. It's not living in the moment, but when you take advantage of the moment, it's you're living in the moment and you're listening, and that's the key. And so here I am talking to you, but I'm listening. Okay,
mhm,
I'm listening so I can hear what the audience that's going to be list. There is no time and space, and whatever the audience that's going to come to this recording that you're giving, I'm talking to them and giving what they may need to hear to make their next step so they can be fulfilled in life.
mm,
And one of the most incredible experiences in this physical world to give you that experience of getting in touch with who you are, to getting into the moment, is a far infrared sauna. And I want to
mm,
talk about what far infrared saunas are, what far infrared energy is. It's a
mhm,
frequency, and I want to let everyone know. A lot of people say in the spiritual community we are light beings. You've heard
mhm,
that we are light beings, but see, what they don't tell you is that you are a specific frequency of light being. You are a far infrared light being.
mm,
And far infrared saunas became popularized by an environmental medical doctor by the name of Sherry Rogers.
mm,
And she was very active in the 1990s, dealing with people with multi-chemical sensitivities, environmental problems, people who are having problems. Like Doris Rapp wrote a book called Our Toxic World. She's about 90, 95 now.
mhm,
And it and we all know in this world, and I don't like to belabor it, but the there's glyphosates and chemicals and pesticides in the food, in the land, the earth.
Mhm.
There's in the water, you've got fluoride, you've got chemicals, you've got hormones, you've got drugs. God knows what's in the water. Okay.
Mhm.
And then you have in the air, you have pollution from chemical industries. You've got, from whatever, and then you've got the chemtrails that they're spraying, and God knows what's in there. But there's aluminum, there's strontium, there's a lot of stuff. And then you have the electrical energy. So you've got the fire of the
Mhm.
electrical energy, and that's the Wi-Fi, the microwave energy coming from our cell phones from the Wi-Fi, and now you have 5G.
Mhm.
And the combination of the glyphosates, the fluoride, the aluminum, and the Wi-Fi has a very, very detrimental effect, according to Dr. Dietrich Klinghardt,
Mhm.
who's one of the most well-known doctors in the world, who has, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, has said EMF, microwave energy, that can be very sinister, especially when you combine it with aluminum and
Mhm.
mercury and fluoride and glyphosates. And so we have toxins that build up in the body. And so this is pretty much accepted and understood. And so now the question is, the whatever, it doesn't matter what you call it, but whatever is in our body that interferes with our mind functioning optimally, and with our emotions being free, for us to be able to observe our emotions, to feel love, to feel gratitude, and to bypass fear. See, whenever you're aware of time, and when you have fear, you're aware of time, then you're dead.
Mhm.
See, it's living is when you're not aware of time, then you're in the flow. You're full of life when you're not aware of time. There's a book that Paul Twitchell wrote called The Talons of Time, and
Mhm.
the evil negative, of the world is called the time makers. So whenever there's time, there's pain.
Mhm.
And one of my goals is to help reduce pain in this world. And
Mhm.
I'm sure you saw the movie Field of Dreams.
I have not.
Yeah,
I've heard of
okay,
it. I know. I'm
okay.
not a big movie buff.
No problem. But the when people think of the Field of Dreams, they said, if you build it, it will come.
Mhm.
That's sort of like, but that's not what the movie's about.
Mm.
That's important part of the movie. But in the beginning of the movie, he had a dream, and it said, reduce his pain, or relieve his pain.
Mm.
See, and people are full of pain, and the reason they're full of pain is because they don't know who they are. If you really knew who you really, really are, and what you are as a far infrared light being,
Mhm.
there would be no pain, because you would see everything in perspective, and you realize that everything is just passing by, and it's just an experience, and it's all a mock-up that you've created
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
have experiences, so you can be free and wise.
yes, you're a powerful creator of your own reality and,
Yes.
mhm.
And we have to come to terms with that. And the more we come to terms with that, the more free we are.
Mhm. Yep, and as
So
being energetic light beings and electrical beings, our brain and our hearts, our whole body runs on electricity and on
that's right.
different on frequencies and vibration, and that's why I think the infrared sauna is so incredibly healing. You can see it in my background here. I can literally roll.
They match. The match made
Yeah,
in
we match. We have the same background, and it's been so incredibly healing in my own life and healing from chronic illness and mold toxicity and Lyme and co-infections and heavy metals and glyphosate and all those things that our body is so bogged down by. There's no coincidence that there's so many rates of cancer and chronic illness and autoimmune disease. And one way that we can get rid of these toxins is through our sweat, and not just sweating, but I want you to talk a little bit about what is infrared energy and what is it? What's the difference between an infrared sauna versus like a dry sauna and a, steam sauna or even other infrared saunas that are um, mid or like broad spectrum? I know that that's a lot of questions in one, but what's the difference between the far infrared sauna, especially the relaxed sauna, and other saunas that are out there?
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun talking because, oh my gosh, I could go on and on, and I'll try to be as succinct as possible.
Okay.
The far infrared energy is the energy that is an energy of frequency that comes from the sun. You get ultraviolet from the sun, and when ultraviolet hits our skin, it feels hot because it's not the same frequency as we are.
Mm,
We are far infrared light beams. Water is a far infrared molecule. Everything vibrates according to Pythagoras, who is a great spiritual master as well as the father of modern mathematics. And so far infrared energy is water molecules are vibrating 8 microns. We as humans, birds, and mammals all vibrate at 9.4 microns. Now, what that means is, well, it's not what it means, but as a red vibrates at 0.79 microns.
mm,
Violet is at 0.48 microns, and that's called, visible light. And then the ultraviolet is less than 0.48 microns.
So this is where your mathematics comes in, right?
Right. This is where my mathematics comes in. And I got a little picture of this here. Actually, I've got a little one. Oops, just a little one here. I usually have a bigger picture, but we'll just put it up to the camera where people can see it.
Mm,
And that's, I guess you can't see it that well,
we can see
but
the color and I guess the
okay.
concept of it.
Yeah, and the violet is the violet, and the ultraviolet is, there's a really small line, and that's the visible light right there. And that's infrared, and that's ultraviolet, and you've got gamma rays and all sorts of other kinds of rays.
Mhm,
And so the the vibration of far infrared is what is called the loving light of the sun. It's what's in harmony with us. It's the same frequency as us. So when something comes at us and it's the same frequency as us, we don't notice it.
mm,
And so, we absorb it. It's like
mm,
non-resistant thought expands the heart center.
mm,
So because it's the same vibration as us, we don't resist it. So we're non-resistant to it. So it expands our heart center.
wow.
So it goes into our body, and it resonates with our water cells. And that causes the water cells to vibrate and pulsate.
Mm.
What
And
does
we're made primarily we have so much what is it? I don't know the exact number. Is it 85%?
well, they say
80
that we 79% of our cells are water,
our water. Mhm.
are water cells, are water molecules, but 99% of our body is water,
Mm,
according to Dr. Gerald Pollack, who wrote the book, The Fourth Phase of Water,
mm,
where he talks about far infrared energy has an incredible, spectacular effect on the water to make it more pure.
mm,
He calls it's the fourth phase of water, it's a gel-like substance, and the far infrared light creates more of it. And it's important. You can go into detail. But we are far infrared light beams. And what does far infrared do? It does one thing. It resonates with our water cells. It resonates with our organic cells. We absorb it. We don't resist it because it's the same energy as us. So it expands us, it magnifies us, and it causes our water cells to pulsate.
mhm,
No other energy does that. Ultraviolet, we resist because it's so far away from our frequency that it can cause suntan and sunburn because of the
mhm.
resistance.
That's what I was just gonna ask. So what about being outside? That's still really healing, but it's not the same
Well,
effects as
a little bit of ultraviolet is good. Just like, but eating food is good, but overeating can cause problems.
Right.
So if you get too much of the ultraviolet, you've overdosed, and that can be a sunburn.
Hmm.
A nice suntan would be a nice good meal, a nice good meal of now the hot you feel on your skin, that's the ultraviolet.
Hmm.
The far infrared light penetrates very deeply. And when you lie in the sun, you say, "Oh my gosh, do I feel
Hmm.
good?"
Yeah.
That's the far infrared energy being absorbed in your body. That's the loving light of the sun, and that's what's magical.
Hmm.
So magical. That's what when Sherry Rogers wrote her book, Detoxify or Die,
Hmm.
and there's Sherry.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Yeah,
Highly recommend
it's
that.
a classic, and
Hmm.
there's about 50 pages almost exclusively on far infrared in the book, saying far infrared saunas now brought her people back from the dead. Now
Mm.
she distinguishes the far infrared saunas from the Finnish saunas and says that these are the superior saunas because they're energy medicine.
Mm.
In other words, it's not the heat in the relaxed sauna or the heat in the sauna that has the healing benefit. It's not the heat. These are not ovens.
Mhm.
This is energy medicine. Closer to it's a totally different thing than the Rife frequency,
Mhm.
where in the Rife machines you find a specific frequency, an exact frequency, and you send that frequency. The far infrared is a band of energy between 4 and 14 microns. It took the relaxed sauna 10 years, 10 years to find out how to filter out the near infrared energy, how to filter out the mid infrared.
Mm.
So you only get the active ingredient. The active ingredient is far infrared energy between 4 and 14 microns, which resonates with the water cells.
Mhm.
See, only the far infrared between 4 and 14 microns will resonate with the 8 micron water cell and the 9.4 micron frequency of light that we all, as mammals, birds, and humans, emanate.
Yeah, so what kind of technology is that allows you to filter out the are you allowed to disclose that secret?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of what
No,
what
it,
kind of
it
technology is that allows the far infrared to be filtered out like that?
well, it took the Relax Sauna company in Taiwan. They were asked by a Japanese company saying, God, these healing hot springs in southern Japan that have healing energy, people would go there and they would heal and all their problems would go away. Can
Mm.
you create, to the Relax Sauna electrical company in Taiwan, can you create this kind of energy coming out of electricity?
Mm. Hmm.
10 years later, you know, they say, hey, we finally did it. It took them 10 years to figure out. And I think they got help,
Mhm.
like angels or spiritual masters, but they got help because what they did and the discovery they made broke Planck's law. And Planck's law says you cannot do what you just did. And the technology is unknown. This technology came out in 1997, and that's 24 years ago. And most of the world, I mean, they have no clue. The other sauna companies have no clue that the relaxed sauna is not just a far infrared sauna. It's a machine that creates joy in your life.
Mm.
There,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
something there.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say I've personally felt that. I know I've tried a lot of different saunas and when I get out of, especially the relaxed sauna, I feel like my body just it's a sigh of relief for my body. And
Yeah,
my sympathetic parasympathetic mode just kicks in that rest digest and it's like a overwhelming sense of calm. So that's what I thought of when you were talking about it. That's
yeah.
maybe that where that energy is coming from.
See,
Um,
people look at the relaxed sauna and say, well, like Rebecca Harder is an example of a lady who has a colon hydrotherapy clinic in Portland and in Taos, New Mexico. She has a hyperbaric oxygen therapy clinic, and she'd been selling wooden $7,000-8,000 saunas for years and loving them. And finally, after 10 years of walking by her booth, she stops and gets in the Relax Sauna. In 3 minutes, she's sold on. She can experience the difference. The difference is something else that you cannot express in words. You can't have all this scientific documentation. But when you go in, you say, all right, it's like in the Field of Dreams, in the which you haven't seen.
I'll watch
But,
it.
the brother of the wife finally says, don't sell the farm, because he saw what they were talking about. He saw the magic of it, and it's the magic in the Relax Sauna that I try to express it in words. Like it, the side effect is joy and euphoria. And it's one guy, he's about 25 years old, and we met him at a cancer conference in Reno, Nevada, about 6 years ago. He used to travel an hour across LA to his mom's house and spend 45 minutes doing her wooden sauna, and he'd have a good sweat, but he'd be exhausted afterwards. Then he goes at the Reno Cancer Conference and goes in the Relax Sauna with his gym clothes. In 25 minutes, he has a better sweat and feels invigorated.
Wow.
And what the Relax Sauna does that other saunas don't do, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system that you were talking about in a way that no other sauna can, because the Relax Sauna, it took them 10 years to discover how to use semiconductor chips to filter out the near and the mid infrared. And so when you look at saunas, people don't say, like they do vitamin C or CoQ10 or vitamin B or vitamin D, or zinc. How much zinc is in your product? 5 milligrams, 50 milligrams. Okay, the Relax Sauna has more of the active ingredient of far infrared ray, between 4 and 14, than any other sauna, probably 5 to 9 times more.
And
And that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's probably why I noticed such different too, because I've used saunas that have the the whole spectrum and
Yeah.
near as well, and it didn't seem to have the same effect. I definitely sweat a lot more, and I don't get that fatigued, like drained feeling that I do when I am using broad spectrum. A lot of times, especially in my early stages of healing, I felt like it was really draining on my kidneys and adrenals, and I haven't had that experience with the sauna. And I know everyone's body is different, and if you are dealing with chronic illness or you're trying to detox, starting slow is always a good idea. But
Yes, especially
but
with Lyme disease, you avoid the Herxheimer effect.
right, but I haven't found that effect with the sauna. And this sauna actually, it's one of 2 saunas that I've experienced. The other one is Photon Genius, which is, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a very powerful sauna, but also a little bit too powerful in some ways. This is a lot more gentle and it a lot more, I feel like, healing. But this is one of 2 saunas that I've been able to like actually sweat out black specks and like brown things, toxins out
Yeah.
into my towel. And I was
Right.
shocked when I saw this, because this is a portable thing. The other one that I'd used is like a $20,000 sauna and would cause me like massive Herxheimer reactions. And yes, I was getting black and brown flecks out of my sweat and stuff that should not be in my body. But with this, it's a lot more affordable. And I was able to sweat that stuff out, but not feel like sick after, but still be like shocked that that was actually coming out of my body. And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. We have about 15 video testimonies on people who had serious problems with Lyme and
hmm
mold, and they're on YouTube, like relaxsaunas.com, or you go to the YouTube and put in Relax Sauna testimonials Lyme, and
hmm
there's a whole bunch of testimonies. Now, what we've also had is people with supreme mold toxicity as well. Like there's a lady named Paula Schofield from Desert Palm Springs area, and about 8 years ago, she got a sauna from us, having owned wooden saunas before, and she got in the Relax Sauna, and that gave her life back. And we have dozens of stories like that people they have a life now. Another thing that I wanted to mention, which I think is pretty interesting, this one lady had a very high quality, expensive $6,000 wooden sauna that she and her husband have had for 5 years, and she was at a mental health conference that we were exhibiting at for doctors, for alternative medical doctors. And she came down in her bathing suit and did a 30-minute sweat in the relaxed sauna in the exhibit hall room, and then came back an hour later and said, Phil, after 8 to 10 minutes in the relaxed sauna, I experienced the most profound sense of relaxation that I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
And she had a wooden, one of the highest quality, one of the well-known wooden saunas for 5-6 years. And not once did she ever get that experience.
That's amazing. I just got shivers hearing that story, and I know, like, there's probably so many other people besides her who are having similar experiences. I mean, I know I have. Um, for me, my fatigue has gotten better. I've also had, I don't kind of mentioned it earlier, bits and pieces, but I've had, for those of you who are watching and who don't know my story, I was severely poisoned by mold in my home, a water damaged home. And was also living in an area that was highly polluted, deemed by the EPA to be one of the worst places for air quality in the United States, and was also ironically working at a health department that had mold issues. So I was just being bombarded from every corner. And I recently, just this past year, got out 13 mercury amalgam fillings. And so my body has just been inundated with mycotoxins and mold and tick-borne infections and mercury fillings. And I finally am at a point where I am back to a place where I'm feeling more life force energy and I have more vitality back. And that's one reason why we're on this call, because I'm really passionate about sharing actual healing solutions, because there's so many different paths and so many different ways and so many different supplements, so many different saunas, so many different things to choose from that can get really overwhelming. And how do you know um, what are the true ways to really start healing, and what are the best products and um, the most knowledgeable people out here to start working with, and who've been working in the field for a while. So Phil, you're definitely one of those people, and I know that you've helped a lot of people recover from chronic illness. And there's a lot of suffering, going back to your point earlier, there's a lot of suffering and pain in the world, and there doesn't need to be. We can find ways to break out of the matrix that we live in, and biohack our way back to health. What are some other things that infrared sauna helps with, like symptom wise? I know it really helps stimulate the immune system and shock proteins and helps with mitochondria. Do you want to talk a little bit to how it's actually working in the body, and what are some things that we can get relief from?
Well, the relaxed sauna, and far infrared energy in general, between 4 and 14 microns, does one thing. It resonates with the water cells and causes the water cells to vibrate. That's all far infrared saunas do. I want to tell a story first about a lady with Lyme disease in Massachusetts. She met us at a Lyme show. She'd had Lyme for 2.5 years, and as a result of that, had neuropathy. She had a portable sauna that she used over a dozen times for an hour at a time, and not once did she feel pulsation in her fingers and toes. 12 minutes in the relaxed sauna, and she had feeling in her fingers and toes. And this is the difference between a proper dose of far infrared energy and an okay dose. Every single far infrared sauna, every single infrared sauna, every single thinnest sauna is going to be very, very healthy for an individual. I mean, I've always loved sweatings. I joined gyms 4 times in my youth, to use saunas only, and that's the only reason I joined gyms. Now there's a doctor, Bill Ackner, and he wrote this book called No Sweat, No Sweat.
Mhm.
Once you no sweat as your teacher and your healer, life is no sweat.
Mhm. I love it.
And this is Dr. Ackner. There we go. There he's
I'm
the
gonna have
one.
to rewatch this interview, and I'm gonna post all these links
Right, right.
below. And whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you're watching, I'm gonna post all these links and resources because it's a lot of great stuff that
Yes.
you're providing, so people can look at that
And
after
it's
too.
all on the relaxsaunas.com website
Okay,
information on all three of
okay,
these books. That I've got another one to show you too.
great.
The he did a study of sweating and sweating, and he also has told me that no other sauna can create the heat shock proteins that you get from the relaxed sauna. And
Mm,
that's the heat shock protein is caused when you stress the body by increasing the core temperature. Now, there's a man who did, I don't even know him, but in February 2017, he posted a review of the relaxed sauna. He was also talking about cryotherapy,
mhm,
and he posted it and said that he bought a portable sauna. He read all the research that Sherry Rogers talked about in her book, Detoxify or Die. There's
mhm,
lots of research since the 1960s from Japan, Germany, Taiwan, all over about what far infrared saunas will do. And according to Dr. Sherry Rogers, a far infrared sauna is the superior sauna because it's energy medicine.
mm,
And as I said, it does one thing: it pulsates, resonates with, and pulsates the water molecules.
yep,
Now we've all been in small rooms dancing, I presume. And when you're in a small room dancing, there's one thing people notice: it gets hot.
mhm, yep,
Okay. So when you have all and you know how a washing machine works, this invisible water goes in, and you've got these solid clothes, and the invisible water actually penetrates these clothes. Can you actually believe that people believe this? When I say this water will actually penetrate something solid, and you say, no way. And I said, yeah, let me show you. And I put the water in the washing machine. I put these clothes in and I said, oh my gosh, it's wet. I said, yeah, the water saturates the clothes with water. We call it wet. And what does it do? It cleans out the grime and the gook
yeah,
and all the gunk in the
yeah,
clothes, not just the outside, like a shower, but the inside. You've got a shower in your house, I bet.
yep, 2.
That cleans the outside, right?
Mhm,
What do you have in your house that cleans the inside? It cleans every cell of the body.
mm.
Most people don't, but you do.
This guy
You,
over here.
you have a relaxed sauna.
Yeah. Wow, I love that analogy.
And what the invisible far infrared light actually penetrates every cell of your body,
Mm,
every cell, every water cell, every water molecule, every cell of your body is penetrated, and that causes the water cells to pulsate like the churning of the
yeah.
water, and that cleanses and detoxifies the cells.
So it's kinda like the internal scrubber,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
helps
but
I know your lymphatic system is huge, we don't talk about it enough, but it's this whole system. We think of the endocrine system, the GI system, I mean, in conventional Western medicine, we think of our body as being separate parts, but really it all is one beautiful, complex, I don't wanna call it a machine, but it's amazing. And, where was I going with this? Oh,
if
but your lymphatic system, like the sauna is a really good way to stimulate that. That's what it's reminding me of, stimulate your lymphatic
right,
system and start to really like get rid of that stagnation that's in our tissues and our cells. And if you have toxicity built up in your body, which we all do to some level, some more than others, but it's really like vibrating out that stagnation and that toxicity at a cellular level to really start to get things moving, which is why it's important to start slow if you are starting the sauna to begin with, right? So what's your recommendation for people if they're looking to get a sauna? and they want to start detox and they want to start healing, do you recommend a certain amount of minutes or times a week?
Well, I have demonstrated the Relax Sauna to over 150,000 people at conferences over the last 19 years. And almost everyone can go in for 5 to 8 minutes and not experience any Herxheimer effect. So you can try 5 to 8 minutes. And what's beautiful about the Relax Sauna is that we have put people in with pain of 10 out of 10 or 12 out of 10. Some of them say it's so bad. And they go in, and we've had a number of cases, I'm sure over 100 cases of people totally getting rid of all the pain and going down to a zero.
Mm,
Generally, we've had about 20, 30,000 cases of people getting from an 8 to a 4, or from a 7 to a 2, or a 6 to a 1, or we've got many, many cases. One lady had carpal tunnel for 5 months straight, pain 5, 6. Within 10, 12 minutes, all her pain was gone. And we've got a lady in a wheelchair in Dallas, Texas, who, her eyes were closed, and she was saying, "Oh, I can move my
mhm,
hands," and so I started taping her, and she gave me permission later to release it. It was a
sure.
27-minute video, and she could do this with her hair, and she hadn't been able to do that for about 7 years after being in the
Mhm.
Relax Sauna, and she now doesn't need the wheelchair.
Wow, that's
2 months
amazing.
later, she sent an email on that.
Wow.
So we have a lot of miracles. So what the Relax Sauna does, it pulsates the water molecules, increasing the core temperature. And that's the key. What the guy in the article said. He said he got a portable sauna, increased core temperature. Half a degree is all he could increase core temperature in 25 minutes. And that's not what the research on far infrared sauna says. So he
Mm,
bought a $500 portable sauna on Amazon that was reputed to be one of the best. Same results. The heart rate variability test totally failed, increased core temperature half a degree in
hmm,
25 minutes.
wow.
So he's looking at all the available. There was a $900 sauna available, and there was the Relax Sauna.
Mhm.
He
So
decided
what in
to
25 minutes, what did he find?
3.2 degree increase in core
3.2
temperature in
degrees.
the Relax Sauna.
Okay, and so that's a fever. So if we think of how our body's immune system works, when if we have a fever, it's our body's way of trying to get rid of the virus or pathogen that it's fighting. And oftentimes we take like an Advil or an ibuprofen to suppress those symptoms, but really that's our body's our body has innate wisdom and innate intelligence, and it really wants to heal. Like it is our birthright as light beings, as human beings, to live in a state of health and happiness and to be thriving. And our body knows that when we're sick, we maybe don't want to eat as much because our instead of our body going to digestion, it's going towards healing. And same thing with a fever. Our body is really trying to amp up its temperature to create those shock proteins and kick into high gear to fight the bad guys and get back to a state of homeostasis. And so the sauna helps with that, and especially helpful when you have chronic illness. And like I can speak from personal experience. I mean, when I first started using the sauna, I couldn't sweat. Like I wasn't using the Relax sauna at first. I was using a different sauna, and I remember just sitting in a sauna for 15 minutes and I would get like nothing. And it probably took me a full month of using a sauna to have my detox pathways start to open up. But that's how much like stagnation and like toxins were just built up. I lost the ability to sweat. And that is one way you can tell that your body's compromised, because we should be able to sweat when we're exercising or outside in the sun. And if you can't, that could be a sign that there's a bigger problem going on. But with the Relax Sauna, I definitely can sweat a lot easier. I'm also further into my health journey and healing, but it is really potent stuff.
We were at a doctor's conference in Dearborn, Michigan, and a lady took 51 minutes for her to start sweating in the Relax Sauna. And as soon as she started sweating, my ex-wife was there and putting her in, saying, we can get anyone to sweat. And then 4 doctors had their credit cards ready to buy the Relax Sauna after they
Wow.
saw that.
Yeah.
And another conference, it was we go to dentist for holistic dentistry, or biological dentists is what they call themselves.
Mhm.
We had one dental assistant hadn't sweated for 10 years, another for 20 years, and I got them both sweating within 15, 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah.
And there's a Dr. Roger Billica who used to be director of medical operations for NASA for 10 years.
Mhm.
And he's got a clinic in I think Fort Collins, Colorado. And he says that once his patients start sweating in the Relax Sauna, that there's a remarkable difference in their healing journey. It's like they turn a corner, and then they can move further toward their healing. It's really a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, and it's incredible what, taking a holistic approach to our health can do, and, biohacking, this is in my top 3, biohacks.
Right,
Definitely.
exactly.
So
Well, there's a lot of people, there's a gerontologist in Hawaii, and she got a Relax Sauna in 2007, November. Dr. Doris Rapp was who wrote the book Our Toxic World, says, go see Phil. And
mhm,
she was all confused. She'd had her blood reports for the last 25 months all came back with heavy and not normal in lead or in mercury. And she got the Relax Sauna. She got our lie down sauna. We have the lie down and the sit up. Most of the people buy the sit up sauna because it's so easy to use and comes with a comfortable chair and all that.
mhm.
But her blood report in the first month of her blood report was normal mercury and lead for the first time in 25
Wow.
months. And she also lost a lot of weight, and her whatever, um, all her statistics, her fat level went down.
Mhm.
And magic happens when people use the Relax Sauna, because it's got more of the far infrared energy. And that's key. The more you have makes it more effective, because it's a little package. But now again, a sauna, all saunas are good. They
Mhm.
all they all work, they all do benefit. But sometimes, just like if you need 500 milligrams of vitamin C to have an effect in your body, 100 milligrams is not going to do it. 1,000 milligrams will. And
Right.
so a lot of times, uh, but again, it's that feeling of joy. But you asked me the question a little bit ago, and I started answering it. The relaxed sauna, by increasing core temperature, mobilizes the immune system that we
Mhm.
talked about, the lymphatic system. And I think it either births white blood cells, it
Mhm.
creates heat shock proteins, and it also brings them out of hibernation. And it helps the whole metabolic functioning of the body by getting the body to move. And what you said about stagnant, a stagnant pond is a breeding ground for mosquitoes. And
Mhm.
when the exercise enthusiasts say you need to exercise, and the nutritionists say you need nutrition, but exercise is really a subset of movement. You
Mhm.
need movement in
You
the
need
body,
mhm.
and the momentum you get from the movement of the vibration
Mhm.
of the pulsating water molecules
Yep.
creates movement, and that also reduces the blood cell size,
Mhm.
because the water cell has 2 hydrogens and an oxygen, and that angle gets smaller. So
Mm.
the water molecule gets smaller. Therefore, the blood cells are going to get smaller. You get smaller blood cells. Instead of semi trucks going through your arteries, you got motorcycles.
Nice.
And
Nice and
so it's
speedy.
going to increase the microcirculation. So
Yep.
what's that going to do? It's going to get rid of inflammation.
Mhm.
And there goes the pain.
There goes the
There goes
pain,
the
the
scar tissue.
inflammation. Yeah, you think of your body, your arm getting cut, and your body automatically, the swelling goes to that area, it gets red, that's inflammation, that's your body's way of healing, but it becomes a problem when the inflammation won't turn off. and when
Right.
it's widespread through the body. So that's a really good way to start to remove those sources. And if you can remove inflammation from the body, you're getting rid of things like fibromyalgia and chronic pain and all the toxins that are causing these things and anxiety and depression. I dealt with crippling mental health, anxiety and OCD when I was living in mold and detoxing from it. And I was like a shell of a person. I couldn't understand why, but it was because my brain was literally on fire from all of the chaos that was going on inside of it. And so gently removing those layers is key. And definitely the sauna, the relaxed sauna is fundamental to my healing journey to doing that. So,
And I think we must have inflammation of our brains because I know nothing gives me mental clarity the way the relax sauna does. It's so
mhm,
invigorating. Like even when I went to the gyms and did their sauna, that really helped a lot. I felt revitalized.
mhm,
But when you're in the relax sauna, there's something about the mental clarity, about the synapses, about you open
yeah,
yourself up. I think it really activates the pineal gland.
it does.
It, it
Mhm, yes,
and and again, what I was saying earlier, no sauna, no sauna activates the parasympathetic nervous system like the relax
mhm, yep.
sauna.
No,
It
it's
gets
definitely I can definitely speak to that. So I have a question. So you're talking about mental clarity right in your head. So you can see from the background, you can see the sauna that we're talking about. And it's like a little zip up. It's portable. It comes in a little you can take it on carry on probably or not carry on to, but it would fit in you know what I'm trying to
suitcase.
say, checked bag, a suitcase
Yeah,
in an
right.
airplane. It's that compact. But you zip it up and your head sticks out of it. Do you ever stick your head inside of it to sweat more? Or do you feel like you get enough effect from
About
just
65% of the time, my head's inside the
you
sauna.
do? Okay.
Oh, it feels so good. And then sometimes I'm too hot,
Yeah.
and
It
I
does heat up pretty
and I
fast.
stick it up,
Well,
like
that's
a
that's
turtle.
what the nice there's 2 little, armholes, and I use them
Right?
for reading, but sometimes just sort of for some extra airflow.
You want to see our sophisticated temperature control device that we have in the relax sauna?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll show you. It's called a zipper.
I love it.
If it gets too hot, you unzip the zipper. Now
Mhm.
there's a lady, talking about another sauna saying that it's important to have high heat in the sauna. And,
Mhm.
and I've never heard that before. It's not true, as a matter of fact. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. Now, the relaxed sauna can get up to 169 degrees, but
Mm.
that's too hot.
It's
It's,
very hot.
it gets up to 130, 140 right away within 5 minutes. What people love about the relaxed sauna, it starts in 8 seconds. In 5 seconds, in 20 seconds, you feel warm. You feel like you're being loved or being hugged by your loving grandma.
I love
it,
it. Yes, I totally agree with that.
it takes about, so you feel toasty right away. So if you've got chills, you go in the relaxed sauna and in a minute you're better. If
Mhm,
you have an asthma attack, you go in the relaxed sauna in 2, 3 minutes and you're better. If you
mhm.
have a wooden sauna that takes 5 or 10 or 20 or 45
Minutes
minutes
to
to
heat
heat
up.
up,
Mhm,
you're in and out of the relaxed sauna in 15 or 20 minutes. And
right.
that's what Dr. Klasky in Connecticut says. He says, you know what I like best about the relaxed sauna? The instant on,
Mhm, yep.
you know. And a lot of people say, oh, it heats up real fast in 5, 10, 15
Yeah, you don't
minutes.
even have to turn on the heat
Yeah,
first and
no,
heat it up. You
yeah,
literally I sit in it, turn it on, and I'm in my sauna. There's no wait time.
yeah. And when I want something, I want it now. 10 minutes is too long to wait for me,
Yeah. Well,
practicing
that's the
patience.
society we live in, which is a whole 'nother story, but, when we're
Right.
when we're busy and we're, like and, we're working full time and some people have families and, um, if you're healing from chronic illness, that takes a toll on your body and you're wanting to maximize your time, and, I love my sauna time to meditate and just to journal, especially if I go in the morning. I roll out of bed and I use my I don't think I have it, my 5-minute journal. And I just meditate and just set my intention for the day. So and then sometimes I'll do my little live from the sauna and my little
Right. Yeah.
testimony.
Yeah.
Uh,
I saw one of your and on Facebook, the Facebook story there. You were in your sauna.
Yep. It happens. Well,
Now,
thank you so
the
oh,
the fourth thing that the relaxed sauna does.
yeah.
Okay. See, again, it increases core temperature, and that mobilizes the lymphatic system, increases the microcirculation, activates the parasympathetic, and then it activates or stimulates the mitochondria to create ATP and nitric oxide. Because once you get into the now, you get really mellow. Now all that caffeine energy is gone, and now you can start generating true, real spiritual energy.
Mm,
And that's why you come out revitalized and relaxed at the same time. It's like an oxymoron to some people.
yeah. And that's why it's called the Relax Sauna, right?
Right.
Is that the
Yes.
first
Yeah.
name that came to you, or
It's
was
the
there
no, no. Yeah, I didn't create it. I'm just the communicator. I'm just
Okay.
put it on the map in the United States.
Yeah.
But I was selling another sauna for a year, a portable sauna, a great one. It cost $695, was a portable one, but it took 18 minutes just to start sweating and 55 minutes to do what the relaxed sauna does in 18 minutes, and doesn't give you that feeling of joy. It's like nothing. There's a night and day difference between the relaxed sauna. It gets up to 130, 140 degrees within 5 minutes. And if you get too hot, you just, you know, turn it,
Mhm.
unzip the zipper. But
Yep.
the
And then go take a cold shower right after to stimulate
if
mitochondria
you're
and
if you're a
yep.
masochist, yes. Or you can take a hot shower, or you can, whatever. There's so many different therapies, and some people, like the guy who did that article in Reddit.com, he he um, he talked about cryotherapy,
Mhm,
and then this lady, this is Gaster Girl, that's Rebecca Harder, that is the
mhm,
one who had the wooden saunas in her clinic and got in the relaxed sauna, and in 3 minutes could feel the difference. And she says the relaxed sauna is the best sauna. It's
mhm,
hard to believe because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but there's something very, very special about it.
mhm.
And I guess you made that discovery yourself.
Yeah, I made that discovery myself. I know my friend, has recently purchased a Relax Sauna as well, and she had, like cystic breasts and, like, had, like, a lot of, like, lymphatic stagnation, um, and a lot of pain. And she started using the relaxed sauna, and within less than a week, she realized it took her a second to realize that she wasn't experiencing that anymore. It had just gone away.
Yeah.
So there's so many benefits. Um, thank you so much for sharing. I know I'm gonna wrap things up because we're running a little short on time, but I so enjoyed talking to you and just learning more. I have a lot of books to read now
I
and
guess
a
so.
movie
Yes.
to add to my long list of movies. Is there anything else that you want to add that we haven't talked about? Um, if there is, let me phrase it this way: if there was one piece of advice that you could give to someone who is struggling in their health, whatever that means, what would your piece of advice be to them?
Well, I got into intermittent fasting, basically after I had my first out of body experience and a Kundalini experience back in 1970, 71. But for the average person, one of the best things to do is start with whatever, if you're a health professional promoting, whatever you do, that the relaxed sauna will augment. It will make quicker, more effective your treatment, your suggestions for anyone. So no matter what protocol you're on any level, 99% of the time, the relaxed sauna will quicken and make so much easier for you, make it so much palatable, your healing journey.
Mm,
Because when Hippocrates said, according to Dr. Bill Ekpenar, Hippocrates said, find me a way to create sweat or fever and I will cure disease.
I love that.
And that's the key. By increasing your body core temperature, And what distinguishes the relaxed sauna from any other sauna, that I don't think any sauna can increase core temperature more than a half a degree in 25 minutes. The relaxed sauna can do it 3.2 degrees. And Dr. Paul Anderson in his cancer clinic, using IV therapy at the same time he has people in the relaxed sauna, actually increases core temperature 4.2 degrees. And the relaxed sauna is used in many cancer clinics throughout the United States. And more holistic doctors who are aware of a lot of different saunas, more and more are becoming aware that the relaxed sauna is the most effective sauna, that it works more quickly, it works more effectively, and it's going to augment whatever they do in their practice. It's going to help people get into a state of perfect health, or as close to perfect health as possible. It's a wonderful tool. It's energy medicine. It's the loving light of the sun. It's
I
called
love
far
that.
infrared
So many
energy.
good nuggets of information. I'm gonna have to go back and I wish
Yeah,
I was taking notes, but I want to focus on our
right,
conversation.
right.
So thank you so much.
Now you
Where
have a
can
special
people?
code or something?
I do, yeah. So through May 2nd, so through Sunday, it is now Tuesday, April, what's today's date?
27th,
The
I think.
27th.
Yeah.
So through May 2nd, there will be $125 off of the Relax Sauna using the code biohacker125.
Biohack 125.
Biohack 125, right.
Hack
Biohack 125. Typically, I do have a code for $100 off, but we're just gonna do a special of Biohack 125. So thank you so much for listening.
They go
And
they
where
go to relaxsaunas.com.
relaxsaunas.com, and a
It's
lot of the
important.
information that
There's
we
an
have
S.
talked about,
There's
the
an S
book,
on relaxed sauna. Relaxsaunas.com.
relaxsauna.com, and then
Relaxed sauna
there's
with an S. Yes.
right. And then there's also the books and a lot of the resources that you talked about. You can check out a lot of the testimonials, I'm sure, and other interviews and videos on the sauna. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly at biohackingbiotoxins@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at that same handle. Thank you so much, Phil, for coming on and sharing your knowledge. I might have to
This
do a
was
part two
Yes.
with you
This
at some
was
point.
so much fun. You were so much fun and so open, and the energy flowed out so beautifully, both from you and from me. It was just it was a delight to watch the process of
Yeah.
how the information came out, so that your people can benefit and improve the quality of their life.
Thank you so much, Phil.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks.
beautiful day.
I enjoyed it. It's great. Thanks so much.
Me too. Thank you.